Boom, 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 boom. Chickity, chickity, chanker. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Hope you're having a good day with the news for the day. It's the transfer stories. We're going to get onto it. I hope you're all good. Thanks for stopping by. We've got John O'Denton, Chevalier Noir, Jeanette Pugh, Tonk Nash, Jamie Jones, Rick Vivnake, Mariam HB. How's it going, everybody? Fred Cranham, great to have you all in here. Thank you very much for stopping by and getting involved. Smash the like button on the vid and let's do this then. So, Man United's transfer news of the day. The biggest story at this moment in time is that Manchester United are in talks with Barcelona over a loan deal for Ousmane Dembele. While the Premier League club are also considering an improved offer for Borussia Dortmund winger Jadon Sancho. So that's the biggest stories of the day, my friends. Ousmane Dembele is understood. We're understood to be interested in bringing him on loan, potentially as, I guess, an alternative backup option in case the Jadon Sancho deal falls through, or more realistically, just as maybe a little bit of pressure to try and increase the chances that Dortmund might actually sell Sancho to us in this window, guys. So, yeah. Andy Luck, Wakasak, Graham, Pavel Brick, Arctic Jacko, Shivan Kashap, DJ Fergus. What's going on, dude? Tonk Nash, Mr. Miyagi. Michael Martin, Ryan Mark Williams, and AR, man. It's great to see all of you in here. But it's plastered all over Sky Sports News and various publications all over the world right now. Look, and you see, in regards to this, it does look like maybe Manchester United are in legit talks with Barca, but in my opinion, like I say, it's just to try and get a little bit more pressure put on Borussia Dortmund in this particular deal. We need to get a winger in this window, don't we? And if we cannot get Sancho, if Dortmund's valuation of Sancho is too high for us, and they have indeed decided that they don't want to sell Sancho to us now and they want to keep him for the rest of the season, then obviously what Manchester United are going to have to do is move on to a different option. So I guess maybe you could argue that we're just trying to put pressure on Dortmund here, but also you could argue that we're actually trying to plan in case we cannot get the Jadon Sancho deal done before the end of the window. And you have to remember that there's a good chance that that will happen. It's probably 50-50 at best that Manchester United end up with Jadon Sancho in this transfer window. So we have to look at alternatives. Personally, I just don't really like the Ousmane Dembele link anyway, even if that is legitimately true. Now, I understand he is obviously a very good player. I'm looking at his stats here. I've got his stats up and, you know, the problem with him is it's a gamble. He's got serious injury concerns. He's constantly in and out of the side with injuries. Look, Barcelona needed to get a player. They signed him to be that potential new player, but it's not worked out there because of his injury issues. He has a lot of injury setbacks. This is the thing. He's made of paper, this man. We don't need that. But in terms of qualities and class and skill, I mean, he's only 23 years of age right now. He's considered to be a very skillful winger, very fast, and he's also got great feet as well. Both of his feet are brilliant. So he's both-footed. He's got great vision, great dribbling tenacity, but he's just a complete melter when it comes to being injured all the time. And do United need to spend big money and pay a potential sick note to play in our football team? I don't think it's a good thing for United to do right now. We don't need another bloody sick note in there. You know, we've already got Phil Jones who gets his ankle broken by his mum every transfer window. We don't need another bloody melt bar coming in here, another bloody dime bar. You know what I mean? But let's have a look at his stats in La Liga last year. He only played 5 times for Barcelona. He only played 5 times. He scored 1 goal. He's not had any games because he's been injured. He played a few times in the Champions League, no goals. Season before that, to be fair to him, like I say, he played 29 times for Barca in La Liga, scored 8 goals, 4 assists. Pretty damn decent, you know, contribution of 12 goals in 29 games there. Not amazing, not sensational, not Messi-esque, not Ronaldo-esque, not Sancho-esque. Remember that he's doing that in La Liga. 29 La Liga starts or games, that is quite a significant amount of time, to be fair. And to only get 8 goals and 4 assists, I mean, I don't actually know how many of them were played off of the bench and stuff like that. It does say he had nearly 1,700 minutes, which is, you know, what's that? Just a shitload of games. It's not starting every single game, but it's a bunch of games there, and he obviously only scored 8 goals and 4 assists. It's not bad, but it's also not Sancho-esque. Sancho's stats are 60 in 52 appearances of his last 60 appearances in the league for Dortmund. That's just ridiculous. So there's obviously a big gulf in class and quality here. Plus, Jadon Sancho is only 20 years old. This guy's 23. That's 3 years of development. How good will Jadon Sancho be in 3 years' time if he's developed correctly and is given all the games and just has that motivation, ambition to try and be one of the world's best? He probably will be one of the world's best in 3 years' time if he's not already. So Ousmane Dembele, to me, he's just somebody that just does not interest me whatsoever right now, in all honesty. I mean, look, I'd take him as a fifth option, but he's just an injury-prone meltbag. We don't need another injury-prone meltbag in the side. He's not even cheap either. Like, I can understand if he was cheap, but okay, they're talking about it on a loan move at the moment. So if we're being honest, it's not really realistic that it would be about a permanent move anyway. Maybe what Barcelona want to do is loan him to a top club this season so he can get game time and also hopefully find his feet in terms of staying fit and not be injury-prone, whilst at the same time Barca don't have to mess around with trying to find a place in the side for him or pay all of his wages. So it does make sense for Barcelona to do that if they just want to get him off of the books this window. And United, it does make sense for us if it's a loan move. If there's no possibility for Jadon Sancho coming in, if that deal's done, then the Ousmane Dembele deal becomes so much more interesting for United just because we need somebody there as a loan move. Now, there's also talk of Sarr. Maybe the move would be to sign Dembele on loan and sign Ismaila Sarr on a permanent deal. That way you sort of got you covered if there is an injury issue with Dembele. So look, there's definitely positives to take him in. What do you guys think? If you're just tuning in, please smash that like on the video, give it a thumbs up, and also get involved with a little cheeky vote right now. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you would take Ousmane Dembele at United on loan. Smash a 2 in the live chat if you think, no, absolutely not, we need to be looking at somebody else, and that's just not the right player for United right now. Griffo Chaz, what's going on, bro? He comments, I will break down if we get Dembele. Possibly the worst transfer in a long while. Why do you think that is then, Griffo Chaz? Do you think that it's because of the injury issues? But if we were potentially talking about it as a loan deal only, it can't be the worst deal then if it's just only a loan. I agree, if United were to actually pay like 70 million, which is what's being reported as his value, for him in this window, and he turns out to be an injury-prone melt, that would be money just absolutely wasted. But if it's just a loan move, then you can't really, it's not really bad. Sylvester's Malabo comments, Dembele is a better alternative to Sancho, mate. Let's be realistic here. As compared to Sarr and those other players that we're linked to on a season-long loan, of course. Dembele's a better option to people like Sarr, I think. He's probably a better player. But if he's fit, then yes. But if he's not fit, then he's not a better option to Sarr, is he? That's the issue here with Dembele. Nobody's really discouraging the fact that he's a brilliant player. Nobody's doubting his qualities as a player. But we're just saying that he does have injury concerns. And I don't know if he's a better alternative to Sancho. I mean, the stats don't really lie. In the one season at Barca that Dembele did actually have like a good run in the side there, 29 appearances, his stats weren't that impressive really for a team like Barca who are going to dominate La Liga. So what about doing it over in Dortmund for getting 60 goals and 52 appearances, 60 goals in terms of assists and goals scored in 52 appearances? I mean, that's unbelievable stats from Jadon Sancho. So if you're looking at the stats, and obviously Dortmund and the Bundesliga is a very good standard. It's not like he's doing this in a proper farmers league or anything. It's the same sort of thing, the same sort of depth I would guess as La Liga in my opinion. Nice one, lads and lasses. But a lot of 2s coming in the live chat here. Paul van der Beek with a 2. Jim Joe Bobley with a 2. You got Vincent Bullock and Waka Sakran with a 2. Ray UK with a 2. How's it going, Dawn? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by in here. Jared Mousson says 1, if not Sancho. Fair play, that's the thing. If we cannot get Sancho, there's got to be other options on the table, and he's obviously one of them. On loan, there's a bunch of other different players we've been talking about as well, potentials for coming in at right wing, whether it be Adama Traore's or your Kingsley Comans. There's a whole bunch of players that United should be looking at. Ousmane Dembele, in my opinion, should be 5th on the list, unless we are just looking at him, getting him in a purely loan capacity, So yeah, get your thoughts and opinions in before we move on to the next topic about Ousmane Dembele, but also his other previous stats, just to give you the rundown before this, because remember, it's not all just about La Liga. I mean, it's overall stats, if you're talking about overall his entire career, which he's played for Stade Rennais in France, he played for Borussia Dortmund. So at Stade Rennais, he played 29 games. This is in all competitions. He scored 12 goals, 5 assists, so that's a contribution of 17 and 29. For Borussia Dortmund, he played 50 games, he scored 10, and he assisted 22. Now that's really good. 32 goal contributions in 50 games. And it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because you can actually almost sort of compare him to Jadon Sancho at that time, because whilst he was at Borussia Dortmund there, He was, he left them around about 21. So he's playing for Borussia Dortmund at a similar age, and he's getting good stats, but he's not getting as good a stats as Jadon Sancho. So I do think that is a pretty big indicator as to who the better signing is right now. And if it's a loan option because we can't get Sancho, fair enough. But we should definitely be trying to go get Sancho. This is ridiculous. If we do end up with Ousmane Dembele on loan instead of Jadon Sancho, it just goes to show you the lack of pure cojones from our gastastic board and the fact that they're not actually prepared to look ahead to the future and invest properly in this team. If they don't get a deal done with Dortmund in this window now, then they've absolutely shat the bed, lads and lasses. Don't even let them forget it either, because this will be shocking. If they go on to Dembele and get a loan player instead of getting Sancho done and dusted right now and getting him in the team, then they're absolutely thick in the head, my friends. Because they should be looking at the bigger picture here. We're going to have him for a decade, this guy. Look at the stats alone. Just after seeing those stats, I'm like, well, obviously Sancho's the better player then. He's got double the goal contributions in the same amount of games. Double the goal contribution. I mean, how do you even compete with that if you're Ousmane Dembele? And then, okay, he's gone on to Barcelona, where he's played 75 times for Barca, 19 goals, 16 assists. Bang average stats for a player playing for Barcelona. And yes, it's probably a lot down to the fact that he's got injury issues all the time and he's in and out of the side. But he doesn't even really compare to Jadon Sancho in terms of statistically alone. So Jadon's the man, Jadon's the player, Jadon's the special talent that's going to be bossing this game for the next decade. Why wouldn't United just pay that extra money and get him in? It's a complete gastastic situation if this is true. But look, this isn't true. Well, it is true, but it's designed to try and get pressure on Dortmund here. This is it. It's United flexing with our PR department and saying, do you know what? We do have other options. We do have other players lined up. So if you don't want to take 110 million for him, we're not going to pay you 120 million. If you don't want to take 110 mil, then we're moving on to other options because it's just too much money. That is the message I'm getting from this football club right now. Obviously, United are expected to go back in and have another bid for Jadon Sancho. We had another one rejected. So we'll see what happens if that is the case and if Manchester United can agree something with Dortmund. But it probably isn't likely. And if we don't, then we'll probably move on to Ousmane Dembele, which would be gash-tastic, my friends. Wouldn't it? There's over 150 of you watching right now. Thanks very much for stopping by and getting involved with the stream today. Please do us a massive favour if you have not done so already and leave a massive thumbs up on the video. Give it a Roy Keane 2-footer on the like button. Thank you everyone who's joining us right now and get involved in the comment section too. Right then. Ray UK. How's it going, Ray UK? He comments, getting Dembele is like wanting a PS4 and ending up getting a PS2 when you get disappointed. Yeah, your mum has just ordered the wrong one on Amazon or something like that, basically. You're so right. Matt Rush, how you doing, Matt Rushmeister, my transfer guru? He just says, fab tweet pig. Thank you very much. Let's just go on here and see what this is in regards to. Thank you very much, Matt Rushmeister. Here we go. So Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted out 2 minutes ago and commented and said, not here we go, by the way. That was just me saying here we go. Anyway, look. Borussia Dortmund deny again any transfers reason related. Come on, Fabrizio. Use a better translator, mate. Anyway, it says, Borussia Dortmund deny again any transfers reason related to Jadon Sancho's absence. Borussia Dortmund are still convinced that Jadon is going to stay. They won't accept any 90 million or 100 million euro bid from MUFC. Price will not change on the final days of the window. Oh my life, no. So this is going to go on. Look, that doesn't necessarily mean they won't accept that, but United are going to have to sweeten it in some other way. Like he's just said there. He's just said, Borussia Dortmund will not accept any 90 million euro bid or any 100 million euro bid. They want 120 million euros, but they will accept, in my opinion, a 110 million euro bid. That's meeting them pretty damn close to what they wanted. United have come up a lot there. 110 million euros, surely that would get the deal done. Smash a one in the live chat if you think 110 million euros will get the deal done for Sancho. Nice one, Matt Rush. So, yeah, just Fabrizio confirming it there then, or trying to... But it doesn't mean that there wasn't any contact, to be brutally honest. It does not mean that. It just means that Borussia Dortmund are indeed denying any transfer stuff has been related to Jadon Sancho going on. Oh, hang on, sorry. I just totally misread that. I've just totally misread that, folks. Borussia Dortmund deny again any transfer... Transfers reason, I thought they meant in regards to the deal being spoke about. No. Look, what he's saying is Borussia Dortmund deny again any transfer reasons. He's got the S's the wrong way round here, Fabrizio. He's thrown me off, look. Any transfer reasons related to Jadon Sancho's absence? So this is what we're talking about. Jadon Sancho is understood to have missed training and not be at training, of course, because he's ill, because he's sick, because he's got respiratory illness. What's that all about? No COVID-19. He's been tested, but he's got a respiratory illness. He's missed training, missed the game against Bayern Munich midweek. These are all strong indicators that maybe there's a deal to be done here for Jadon Sancho. So very interesting. Obviously, Fabrizio confirming that. Sorry, I'm melting today. I totally misread that. But to be fair, he has messed up his tweet a little bit there. But yes, so we understand that the talks are potentially still ongoing, but the realistic chance that we're going to do something with Sancho for less than 100 million is very low. We're not going to sign him for that. Dortmund are very firm on their price tag. If United get to closer to 120 million euros, then we will probably sign him. Now, I think 90 million euros and 20 million euros down the road is the perfect deal for us and them. Bunch of people getting the ones in the live chat. A bunch of twos, though, that think maybe 120 million is the answer. Atrex says 1.5. Absalom Williams, how you doing? He says, good day, Pig. Great to see you. Absalom. Collins Achiri, Sadie Ahmed, Anthony Evelyn, what's going on? Mariam HB, Anajan Arasalvam says, what is the new news? So the biggest news, Anajan, is simply the fact that Manchester United have made talks or are having talks with Barcelona for the potential of Ousmane Dembele to go on loan, or so it's being reported around the world right now. I think it's personally just a move to get a little bit of pressure on Dortmund. They may well be talking with Barca about this loan move, but I think the only way that could really materialise if we really cannot reach an agreement with Dortmund. Joel Morris with the super chat. Thank you so much, Joel Morris. Legend, man. He comments and says, maybe we could do a £110 million bid and player for Sancho. What an interesting idea, actually. You see, we haven't even thought about that. Like, one of the main reasons why Dortmund are very annoyed about Manchester United's dealings in this window is because they did negotiate with us at the start of the window, and if we wanted to pay the money, they'd have sold him to us. They wanted to get their business done early, so it gave them a little bit of time to try and get somebody else in before the window actually closed. And now, yes, they do have a little bit of time if it was done immediately, but they're not going to potentially be able to get their player that they really want. It takes a lot of time to get footballers in, or it certainly does for us anyway, most of the time. Unless you're Aston Villa, because Aston Villa have just got Ross Barkley on loan for the season and nobody even bloody knew a dicky bird about it. Nobody knew a damn thing about it. They just announced it this morning, holding the shirt. Ross Barkley on loan, bish bash bosh. There you go. That's how it's done, folks. That's how it's bloody done. Never mind United going back for the 18th bloody offer for Alex Telles to try and save bloody $2.99 off the deal. And trying to take them some bloody pork pies and a picnic to sweeten it. Pathetic. Never mind doing any of that business. What about Villa, who just get it done on the sly? They just get it done behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Fair play to Aston Villa for doing that. But nice one, Joel Morris. I agree with you, man. I think 110 million is what gets Jadon Sancho bought. So I'm with you on that one, dude. But yeah, can you believe that? I mean, I'm not saying it's at the end of the day, it's just a loan signing. But actually, for a team like Aston Villa to get Barkley for the season, I think that's pretty amazing. PS says, Pig, our non-English viewers don't know who Dickie Bird is. They think cricket is some insect. I'm sure a lot of people know who Dickie Bird is. He's obviously a very famous, I don't know why I did that, but he's obviously a very famous, I think he's a Yorkshireman cricket umpire. Yeah, Dickie Bird. It's Cockney rhyme and slang for word. You know, that's what it means. Hey, Neil Duffin, how you doing, the Duffinator? He says, good afternoon, mate. Just here to say hello. Transfer window is bath material. Thank you, Neil Duffin. Sick bags at the ready. You're right, Neil. It's a shocker, but great to see you, man. Thank you very much for stopping by. It is absolutely gastastic, mate. A terrible window for United. We can't seem to get any of these deals done. We're having our pants pulled down. There's other teams getting deals done. Ross Barkley on loan to Aston Villa was just announced like that this morning without anybody knowing a damn thing about it. So it can be done. We just can't do it because of our board and the fact that we've got some complete potatoes in there. You mentioned insects. Well, I would say they're something of leeches in terms of what they do for our football club. We've also got to talk a little bit then about the potential for other players then. What do you guys think? I mean, there's not really that other many players. I guess the only other player that we're strongly linked to at the winger situation would actually be Ismaila Sarr, which I think is a good option, but it's also not a fantastic option. It's not the best possible option that you could get, obviously. He is a player that's just got relegated with Watford and put up 6 goals and 6 assists last season in the Premier League. He'd probably double that tally if he played for a top side in the league, I think, as opposed to a relegation candidate. But even so, he's still not exactly the best option. I still think in an ideal world, if we did have the money to spend and we had the owners to spend and everybody behind the idea of getting this team improved out there on the pitch, then you would get Sancho and Sarr. Or if you couldn't get Sancho, you definitely get Sarr and someone else as well. Because that way you'd have different options. You've got different roles that they can play within the side. Somebody can back up left wing, right wing, whatever. There's nothing wrong with having depth. There's nothing wrong with having depth. I mean, look at bloody Pep Guardiola and City and the way that they've improved in certain positions this season. They signed Ruben Dias and Nathan Ake in this window in their centre-back positions, where you can argue that their defence was better than ours. So, I mean, you could also argue not. I think that was the problem area of their team. But look, they've made a couple of acquisitions in a problem key area. For us, United haven't done that yet. So we need depth, we need quality. Look, really, we need to up on Meccano. Griffo Chaz, he comments, Sarr goes on Liverpool's bench in our first team. How's that closing the gap? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he gets in our first team, does he? I know what you're saying. That's the problem with that Ismaila Sarr signing. It's not a very good signing. He doesn't keep Greenwood out the side for me, mate, to be honest. He still goes on our bench. So I think that is adding depth to the side. But I think Greenwood's a better player, to be honest. But it's more about his backup for Greenwood, because Greenwood's only 18. You can't expect him to play all the games this season. But if in reality, if we don't get Sancho, we still got Greenwood. That's not the worst position on our pitch. The worst position on the pitch is centre-back. Everyone knows it. But if we had Greenwood in there doing the role that he wanted to do in terms of playing regularly, which I'm sure he wants to play regularly, but I personally think you shouldn't be bringing him on too soon. You should just sort of make it a steady progression at this age. You don't want to get him burnt out or injured or Michael Owen syndrome or whatever you want to call it. You want to give him the right sort of nurturing at this early age. But at right wing, he's the best option in our team if we sign Ismaila Sarr as well, I think. Which goes to show you that how much of an important signing that Sancho is, really. Because if Sancho came in, based on his stats and his progression and how much of a good player he is, you'd have to say that at the moment, Greenwood probably would have to hold the candle second in line to Sancho at right wing position. So that's what that deal does compared to a deal like Sarr. So you're right, I see what you're saying, Griffo Chaz. I mean, how much ambition do you want? How much quality depth do you actually want in the team? Thank you very much for your comment, Griffo. Joe the Pizza Guy, what's going on? He comments, Ollie should be sacked. He buys a player and uses him as a bench warmer. Who are you talking about there? I don't know who you're talking about, bro. Hey, we're almost at 100 likes, lads and lasses. Smash that thumbs up button on YouTube if you haven't done so already. That'll help this stream out loads. Appreciate it, guys. Jude F. Kennedy says, Greeny isn't a right winger. Well, look, I personally agree. I think his best position's at number 9 because he's such a natural-born finisher. I could just see him absolutely tearing it up and scoring a ton of goals from United in that position. So I agree, but he is also able to play right wing fantastically. I mean, look, he came on for 15 minutes the other day against, I know it was only Luton Town, but he set one up and scored one. You know, he can definitely create and he can definitely score goals from that position. He is not going to be fazed by starting a right wing. He gives us much more creation and much more vision than any other player in that position out there for us right now, and it's sort of making the most of it. I mean, maybe the best thing would be really to do something crazy like play Greenwood up top and actually have Martial go right wing or left wing and have Rashford go the other side and go back to the old school days when we had Martial and we had Rashford as the wingers. That doesn't sound terrible to me, and that way you're maybe accommodating at Greenwood at his possession, at his best position, and arguably you're accommodating Martial at his best position. I mean, what do you guys think? Martial is obviously the number 9. Martial scored 17 goals last season in the Premier League for United. He was injured for a bit. Decent stats, but not fantastic in my opinion. What do you think Anthony Martial's best position is? Because I remember when he used to play out on the left or whatnot, and he was roaming in there. He used to score some lovely goals, create a lot of stuff. He still had an amazing end to the season last year at number 9, and I think he really kicked on. But where do you think Tony Martial's best position is, lads and lasses? Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think it's at striker. Smash a 2 in the live chat if you think that it is potentially as a winger. What do you think Tony's best position is? Because that is an interesting talking point. If you're talking about shuffling the pack here and maybe accommodating people in their best positions and having Greenwood at 9 and Martial on the wing, maybe it sort of makes sense. But obviously Solskjaer's got Tony as the number 9 striker. He's got the shirt. So he's got to play number 9 really. He's not going to put him out to the wing now, I don't think. But it is quite mixed in the live chat. Fling420 says 1. He should be a number 9. Andy Luck says Martial's our number 9. He is our number 9 now, but remember how good he was out on the wing. Like, will he get the 30 goals or the 25 goals a season that we need our number 9 to get? I'm still not convinced. I hope he can do it this year. He started the season pretty ropily. Come on, guys. I mean, look, he's not a completely natural number 9. I think that's fair to say. I think he's improved massively. I think Solskjaer's probably helped in a great deal, being such a good forward player that Solskjaer was. From a personal point of view, has probably helped him. And you actually did see the last half of the season for United, Martial really grew into that role at number 9. But certainly, for the first half of the season, I just don't think he was up to it, really. Yeah, lots of votes coming in for winger, though. It's an interesting one about Tony Martial. Brian Arena comments, Martial is a winger. He's got the pace, he's got the dribbling, he's got the vision to be a winger. That's the thing. And in terms of being having that positioning or that sixth sense and that ability just to read it as a number 9, I've never really been too impressed with him in that position. It's not to say he's not had great games and scored a bunch of great goals and linked up really well with his teammates, but just too inconsistent for me. He doesn't look like Ruud van Nistelrooy up there, or he doesn't look natural there, is what I'm saying. Whereas Greenwood, if you put him up there, he probably would look natural. If you fed Greenwood, he's going to stick the ball in the back of the net. The United Way, what's going on, dude? He says, people get so focused on elite first-team players rather than having strong rotational players to pick up slack. Fergie never had 11 first-team players on the pitch as he would rest lads. It's balance. Very true, yeah. You need your John O'Shea's, you need your Wes Browns. You're right about that. I mean, we still had good depth there when Fergie was here generally, but because he was actually allowed to go and strengthen in the transfer window, wasn't he? And he was able to get really good players into the side. But we always, I agree with you. That's the thing. Like we always had a bunch of backup players. You have to rotate it throughout the season. Fact is, if you have 22 world-class players, like 22 actual world-class players, it's going to be a nightmare to deal with. Not only is it just going to be ridiculous wages and stuff, but also there's going to be so many toys thrown out the pram regularly. You can't have top-class players missing out for big periods of the season, because that's what would happen when you have so much quality and depth there. You get that. That's why Man City sold Leroy Sané. It's not because they didn't want him as a player; it's because they just had too much quality there. Like they're not happy. They're not playing. So you would get that scenario if you had too much depth. So it's a fine balance. You need players who can come in and support and back up the really great players in the team, but they're still good players. But yeah, they're happy playing that second role for a while. Maybe they're younger, maybe they're progressing, maybe they're getting the experience of the game time, and they're not this big name player that would kick up a fuss and want to leave. So that's very true. G Wolf, what's going down, bro? He comments, if we get Sancho, Dembele and Telles and Donny van der Beek, that would be a pretty good window. Oh yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely, but I don't think we'd be getting Sancho, Dembele and Telles. I think it would be Dembele or Sancho and then those guys. Because I don't see us getting Dembele as well. I mean, imagine that if United somehow signed Sancho and then got Dembele on loan. None of us would be annoyed about that, even though you might think, oh, it's a bit of a risk because he's an injury-prone player. Nobody would have an issue with that. That would be amazing. But I don't see that. I think it's one or the other, and I think really the Dembele link is just there to get pressure on Dortmund. Hey, Takujwa Mandondo, how's it going? Justin Bergstad, what's going on from South Africa? Hello to you, my friend. P.S. What's going on? He says the problem is both Rashford and Martial are good on the left. Martial was really good on the right. Maybe it would be time to try Rashford on the right then. But I do really like Rashford on the left. I know he's not had the best end to the last season, but I just love him cutting in. I think he could score a lot of goals from that position for us, and he's very, very good creatively. Like, I've got no issue with Rashford on the left. I think that's his best position as well. So you're right there. You're both right. Their best positions are probably that, but you could try Martial there. Thank you, John O'Denton says 113 likes. Awesome, lads. And I says smash the thumbs up button. Appreciate you all stopping by. My voice is going a little bit already today. Too much bloody talking and shouting and screaming, folks. Thomas Cunningham comments, fringe players, journeymen aren't useful because they don't take their chances in the current squad. We need better, in my opinion, better fringe players. Oh yeah, it's all about improving the depth, like improving the quality of the side. That's why we were actually realistically talking about Daniel James maybe going to Leeds if we signed Ismaila Sarr. It's not that we don't want Daniel James as there as a backup, it's that Ismaila Sarr is potentially a better backup. And that's all about it, improving the side in certain areas, window to window, both your backups and both your first team players as well. Like, we should be seeing more players coming in the window to oust people out of the first team, like a Sancho. You know, imagine that. You've got Greenwood on the bench because Sancho's come in. Greenwood on the bench, I mean, what an amazing bit of depth that just gives you right there. Greenwood can come on at the ends, go up top. He can go on for Sancho, he can go on for Rashford at the end of games. Whereas you wouldn't have that depth. You'd have Daniel James as the go-to depth, which is okay, but it's just obviously not that good. It's not going to give you that creation, that vision that a Greenwood substitute would. So there you go. It's a fine example about improving the depth, about improving the overall qualities within the team. Right, okay, let's get into the rest of the stories then, folks. Sorry, I've been rambling a little bit here. Let's get into the rest of the stories here. So, Ousmane Dembele talks with United, Manchester United having talks with Barcelona for a potential loan move, probably as a backup to Jadon Sancho, or to try and put pressure on Dortmund. Statistically, Dembele's not that impressive to me. If you look at his time at Dortmund at a similar age to Jadon's time at Dortmund, Jadon wins hands down. There's a quote here from Ronald Koeman though on Dembele saying, "I'm going to count on him. He was very good during the last first weeks. We had a downturn last week. He trained well today, and I'm counting on him. But these are the decisions of the club and the player." So when asked about the Ousmane Dembele link with Manchester United, or is he going away this window, Ronald Koeman simply said about Dembele, I'm going to count on him. He was very good during the first weeks. He had a downturn last week. He trained well today, and I'm counting on him. But these are the decisions of the club and the player. So that's obviously Barcelona manager Ronald Koeman coming out there with his thoughts on the situation. I'm sure what he means by that is he's counting on him in a backup capacity, I think, really, at this stage, because of his injury issues and the fact that he was out of favour last season so much because of his injuries. So that's what he means by he's counting on him. Nicolo Shearer has also come out and just given us an update here in regards to AS Roma. Chris Smalling's return offered 15 million euros to sign the centre-back from Manchester United. We're asking 20 million euros. Talks are ongoing in regards to Smalling. So a bit of news in regards to Christopher Smalling there. Potentially a 50 million offer. You know, this isn't guaranteed right now. It's just some information I've seen online there. But it sounds about right for Chris Smalling. I mean, get your valuations in, lads and lasses, in euros. How many euros do you think Chris Smalling should be sold to Roma for? I personally think about 14 million euros. That is what I would ask for him. He's 31. He is a good player, but we're trying to get players off of our books at the moment. We shouldn't necessarily be holding out for 20 mil for Chris Smalling. But get your thoughts and opinions in about how much you think we should generate there. Okay, let's get on to the next topic then, folks. Let's get on to the next topic. Waka Sakram says 15, Shivam Kashap 18, Billy Sheeran 18. What's going on, that United family? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. John O'Denton 26, Eddie A 20, Stipmeister says Smaldini should go for about 25. Wow. United Way says 120 million. Sancho alternative. Jude F. Kennedy says 17, 18 for Seaborn Gracias. Yeah, around about 15 million pounds. Maybe, or 15 million euros, I don't know, somewhere around that. 15 million euros, 15 million pounds, that's about 15 to 18 million euros. It's going to be for around that, we think. And it looks like it is going to happen. Roma are ready to get in there and negotiate again with Manchester United. So that's some news for you there, folks. Also, look, in regards to Luka Jovic, that's also understood that there's talks going there with Manchester United for a potential loan move. See, the thing is, we don't realistically know if any of these are actually factual, if Manchester United have actual intentions to bring these players into the club this window, or if it's simply a smokescreen just to build up that hype and build up that pressure on Dortmund. That's probably the most likely, but you can't really rule it out. You know, you can't rule it out. I mean, Samuel Luckhurst has come out today and said if United end up panic buying, they can't blame it on the pandemic. The manager spoke about exploiting the market in April, and Woodward is of the opinion the sooner the better with signings. Yet they cocked up again and are now being linked with every Tom, Dick and Harry, which is true. I mean, look, if we don't get Sancho, if we can't get these deals done, you probably will see a panic buy situation from United. Maybe we will be getting Jovic on loan. Maybe we will be getting Dembele on loan. Maybe we will be signing Sarr. So it might be just a proper backs to the wall panic jobby from our board if we can't get the Sancho deal done. And there's every chance that they might not be able to, because they probably won't pay the 120 million, and Dortmund may not want to sell him to United now just out of principle and because they want to keep him for the rest of the season, and they can just sell him in January for the same amount. They can keep him, have a good player, and sell him in January for the same amount. But he also is not training at the moment, and he didn't play that game against Bayern because he had a bit of a cough, or he had a bit of a respiratory issue. So, you know, look into it what you will. It's very interesting. So yeah, and Fjortoft came out in regards to Luka Jovic today and commented and said he was fantastic for Eintracht Frankfurt when he played there. He's been struggling in Madrid. A loan seems to be on the cards. Apparently Roma the favourite, but I would love to see him in England/Manchester United. So Yana and Fjortoft coming out and just dropping a hint there. Obviously we are having talks with him. From what we understand, there's reports to say that Jovic actually prefers the Manchester United link. Like he would rather come to United. Maybe it's because he thinks he might be able to get a bit more game time there. I don't know. But Roma, it's a good option for him, but it's not an inspiring option. It's an absolute glue factory. It's send him off to the glue factory sort of destination these days playing for Roma. Chris Smalling's going over there. It's just like a retirement ground. So I don't think that's good for Luka Jovic personally. Maybe he will play more there actually, to be honest, because here he's going to have Martial to contend with, Greenwood to contend with, all these forward players to contend with. Whereas if he went to Roma, he'd probably be first fiddle. I don't know. But look, he was fantastic at Eintracht Frankfurt. That's why I'm quite interested in getting him into the club. He's not really had much time at Real Madrid there. He has had issues there. Zinedine Zidane sort of not really ever favoured him at all. And he's just not really done the business there. Whereas if you actually look at his stacks at Eintracht Frankfurt when he was in Germany in the Bundesliga, playing for Frankfurt, who are not one of the top teams in Germany as well, which makes it even all the more impressive. His stats are ridiculously good. And he is only 22. I don't know if it would be a loan with an option to buy or just simply a season-long loan on its own, but that's actually a deal that I would be very interested in getting done. I don't think that's a panic buy. I just think that's a good signing for the season to add depth to your forward line, and that's what Luka Jovic brings you. So Luka Jovic to me would be a fantastic signing on loan. What do you guys think? Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think that Luka Jovic would be a great signing on loan for United. Smash anything else if you don't. Jude F. Kennedy, get in there, my son. We've got a new member of the channel, lads and lasses. Welcome to the Bacon Brigade, Jude F. Kennedy. Thank you very much for becoming a member, dude. That is so awesome of you. Appreciate it, man. Everybody, welcome Jude F. Kennedy with your favourite channel member emoji in the live chat right now. Right now, lads and lasses. Thank you so much for becoming a part of the Bacon Brigade. All aboard the Bacon Train. Woo woo! Thank you so much there, Jude, man. You legend. Red Devil, what's going on? Comments, Bale probably will play 1 game or so for Spurs. You're probably right. I mean, he's an injury-prone meltbag. This is the same situation if United got Dembele on loan, though. Like, you are expecting him to get injured and not play that many games, so it's more of a risk. Gareth Bale, come on, he's the epitome of a sick note. He's the modern-day Darren Anderton. He's the modern-day Darren Anderton Spurs melt who's constantly handing him that sick note. He's literally that guy. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Gareth Bale just didn't feature that much for Spurs this season. I very much doubt that he will. Thank you very much, Matt Rush. He says, smash a like for the pig. Thank you very much. Ted Zavala with the bacon sizzling emoji. Get in there, Ted Zavala. Fling420 says, welcome, Jude. Get in there, Jude F. Kennedy. Quality. Asan Akhtar says, my condolences, Don. What's happened, Don? See if I can find the message if I scroll up a little bit here. Oh, damn it. I don't know what's gone on, but if you've had some bad news, Don, then Don Khan. If you've had some bad news, Don, then sorry to hear that, my friend. Tala Mohammed says, I've just subscribed. Thank you very much, Tala Mohammed, for subscribing. So then, what do you guys think about Luka Jovic? Get a 1 in the live chat if you would have him. Actually, there's a bunch of you already done it. Sorry. Yes, most of you would. Snap Film Walk says, no, you're not interested. Any particular reason why you wouldn't be interested in bringing him in? Nice one, guys. Okay, then. So there's that news as well. Luka Jovic potentially coming to United. We'll see. Fjortoft has just said that there's some sort of Roma favourite news that he's got there. He says apparently Roma are the favourites, but he would love to see him in England at United. Hopefully that happens. I think that would be good depth for us. It's not a signing to be instead of Sancho or anything like that. But if Martial gets an injury, we could probably really do with him. So I welcome that. I welcome that. I don't think that's a panic buy at all. Just getting a player on loan for a season. It's like the Odi Nagalo situation, but you're doing it at the correct time at the start of the season as opposed to in January. To be fair, we've got Igalo until January. So, you could argue we don't actually need him, but if you're going to get a season-long loan, it's not that far until January now, guys. It's almost October. So it's not that far until January when Odi and Igalo will be leaving us. So it makes a lot of sense to actually get that position sorted out beforehand. Again, it's not the priority position. Again, I'd much rather hear that we were linked to a centre-back like Upamecano or someone, but that's not the case. Right then, let's get on to the rest of the news then. This is what I love this quote, by the way, here. This is absolutely fantastic, by the way. I have to give you this story. This is brilliant. You're going to love this. So, the president, I think, is it the president of Benfica here? Let me just have a look and try and find out who the president is, but let's see. Pretty much what it is, I think it's the, yeah, here we go. Interesting quotes. Benfica president Luis Felipe Vieira has said some funny quotes coming out in regards to, obviously, what's happened is City have signed Ruben Dias off of them, right? And this is what Benfica's president, Luis Vieira, had to say in regards to them signing Ruben Dias. He said, Benfica are much bigger than Manchester City. And he basically just said that City is a small club. He said, you do not leave for a bigger club than one you're already at. You know, he said, you do not leave for a club bigger than the one you're leaving. Benfica are much bigger than Manchester City. It has other values that Manchester City don't have. Unfortunately, Benfica don't reach the height of these sharks. It'd be good if we did. Maybe today we'd be leading Europe, Luis Felipe Vieira told the player. Abso-bloody-lutely! I love this guy. I don't know who he really is, but the president of Benfica, Luis Vieira, he's spot on. Benfica, bloody hell, we beat them in the 1968 European Cup final. They are definitely a bigger, better team than Manchester City. Manchester City, you know, they've actually lifted the title, I'm pretty sure, as well. You know, they had that insane period back in the 60s when Eusebio was their star player, and he was just absolutely unbelievable, one of the best players in the world. So they were one of the most successful teams in the world at one point, Benfica. So he's right. Manchester City, they still ain't never won the Champions League. They can try and buy their way to the title, but at the end of the day, they're just cheats. Sorry to say it, but they're just cheats. Look, he said it himself. He says it has, you know, the club of Benfica has different values, other values than that of Manchester City that they don't have. He says, unfortunately, Benfica don't reach the height of these sharks simply because they do it all wrong. They've got owners that just come in and pumped in the money and ignored financial fair play. I don't care if it's beyond a period of time that they can actually, you know, that they can actually do them for. If it's before the period, what's it called? The bloody statutes. Well, you know what I'm saying about the period of time where they can actually be punishable for it. I think that is a joke, man. And definitely they have had all sorts of dodgy stuff going on. You know, think about when Mark Hughes was there and they were just signing bloody whoever they wanted for fun and then disposing of these players because they weren't working out and it was all good. And then after that as well, the amount of money, he's right. He's right. Benfica is a much bigger, better club with a much richer history than Manchester City. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you agree with this bloke. If you agree that Benfica's a bigger club than Manchester City, then smash a like on the vid as well. Anyway, he also said his future is going to be bright. We all believe it will be brilliant. The life of a football player is a bit like that. Jumps from a big club, bigger than City. It just isn't bigger financially, and that makes the difference. Now the rest will be up to you. So that's his message to Ruben Dias. He thinks he's had a double daymare leaving Benfica for City. He said, in front of the squad, he said his future is going to be bright. We all believe it will be brilliant. The life of a footballer is a bit like that. Jumps from a big club, bigger than City. It just isn't bigger financially, and that makes the difference. That's the truth of it. Because City have all this money, it gives them a massively unfair, skewed advantage compared to an unbelievably, historically magnificent club like Benfica, which is what they are. Benfica is a historical club, you know, so it's such a shame that they can't compete with shithouses like Manchester City these days. Yeah, lots of people putting the 1 in there. Lots of people getting the 1 in there. Nice one, guys. Getting the 1 in there. Thank you very, very much to all of you stopping by and having your say. That United family says, check the Mirror Football Twitter, Flying Pig. Some stories saying Sancho has pulled all the stops to join United. I mean, I would do, to be honest with you, but I personally just think the Mirror is an absolute pile of wank. To be honest, I mean, look, that may be the case. He hasn't trained, and he's also, you know, he's also not played in that game against Bayern. So, to be perfectly honest, yeah, That wouldn't surprise me if he's sort of got his head turned at the moment and he's trying to kick up a little bit of a fuss to join. It wouldn't surprise me, And if that was the case, then it would definitely have an influence on Dortmund, because the only reason they would not want to sell him in this window would be to keep him for the rest of the season or keep him until January and then play like... play him and get good results out of him between now and January, and then they can still sell him for the same amount of money. But if he's not going to do that, if he's going to throw his toys out the pram, if he's not going to have his mind 100% on the task at hand, then they might as well just sell him, eh? So actually, United fam, if that is true, that would be bloody awesome. Hopefully that is true. Hopefully he has stunk out. But yeah, you're right. It is awful. It's like the Sun, they are just absolute rags. Mr. Edwards comments, Sancho apparently putting a transfer request into Dortmund, Piggy. Yeah, this is what we're just talking about. So you never know. If it happened, brilliant. If he's kicked his toys out the pram, fantastic. And if he wants to go and make it known to the board and everyone, and just to the manager and the coaching staff that he wants to go, and he's not playing and don't select him, then they're not going to select him, because he can't really. It's a bit of a piss poor thing to do. But if you really want to force a move, then that's brilliant. But that does what we just talked about there, if that's true, that does actually go against everything that we understand as so far in this window. We understand Jadon Sancho, in fact, he was quoted as a little while ago as being asked about his future and stuff like that, and he simply said that he would be a Dortmund player until otherwise, basically, like his future's his future's dealt with by other people at this moment in time, and he's just going to get down, and if he stays, he's going to crack on. I remember reading some sort of quote like that from him. Marco Reus came out yesterday, of course, the captain of Dortmund, and said some BS like Sancho. It's basically implied that Sancho's decided to stay. So I don't know if it was from Sancho himself, I'd believe it, but it wasn't. It's from Marco Reus. And look, this is all just part of the PR department at Dortmund. They've just said to him, look, I have a cheeky little dig about Sancho in there, saying he's staying because it might drive the price up, or that's the game these guys play. Red Devil says, Mr. Piggy, we signed Sancho, we would challenge. We could challenge. I mean, I don't know about that, my friend. I still don't think we would challenge if we signed Sancho. Sancho's a great player who's going to get us goals and assists. But the problem areas at United are at the back line, really. Our centre-back positions are shit, man. Even Slabby's not exactly lived up to it. He's not been like a Rio Vidic coming in. Okay, he's been good in a bunch of games, but he's also let us down in a bunch of games. He's not been consistently good enough. And it's frustrating. But he's still a good player. People keep saying, let's stick him with a good partner. Well, let's stick him with a good partner then. Let's go and improve that position in this window. But we won't, because our board don't have the bloody bottle or the cojones or the wherewithal to actually go and do it, man. Oh, man. Okay, so I just thought that was quality from Benfica's president anyway, about slagging off Manchester City. I love it. I love that sort of slagging of City, because it's true, really. You can't buy history. Okay, look, maybe in 50 years' time, people look back and they'll talk about the Pep Guardiola days and all that, and they'll forget the fact of how it was done. But we all know how it was done, my friends. We all know that Sir Alex Ferguson's era at United, yeah, there was a bit of money spent, but really, we gained that money from being successful and also investing it properly and winning things and getting prize money and doing it back then, So it's different. It's not like we had some proper oligarch come in and smashing billions of pounds into the football club. That's different. I mean, fair enough. Look, if you want it to be an even playing field, then maybe that's how it should be. Maybe that's how it should be. Maybe if Kettering Town had a billionaire owner, they could be like Manchester City in 10 years. That's true. If you want it to be like that, that's the levelest playing field I guess you can have, but I still think it's not right. You have to there have to be some sort of protection and safeguarding for the futures of football clubs. And it's not to say that United should get preferential treatment because of our history. No, I mean that you should safeguard it. What if this sheikh at City just decides to do one? What if something happens to him? I don't know. I'm sure he's not going to go bankrupt, to be honest. But what if, is our City in the position where they can just handle the sort of resources they have going out of that football club every week right now? It's not like United, where we can actually sustain a horrific debt and sign players and do all this business as well, and feed the Glazers' grandkids. We can do all of that because this club has a massive commercial enterprise and draw. Manchester City doesn't have that same level. I don't care what their books say. I don't care if it says they got a deal from Etihad Airways through, because we all know what that's all really about. We all know what that's really about because of, obviously, the affiliations there. Okay, a little bit of news in regards to some of our other players that we're looking to offload, just to give you an update on it. Obviously, Dalot is one player that we could be looking to offload. I wonder if maybe Dortmund would be interested in him. I don't know about that, but probably not. United are still hoping to offload Romero. There's talks of Valencia actually being interested in Sergio Romero right now. It's also understood that Romero has made himself unavailable to be picked by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's not injury related. So that's a bit of information we got there. You know, take that with a pinch of salt at this moment in time, but it looks like Romero's pushing for a move away this window. Which could happen. You know, we need to get rid of him, really. We're paying up to 600 grand a week for goalkeeping wages right now. That's mad. It's £30 million a year on goalkeepers' wages. You can't be doing that, you know, so we've got to rein it in somewhere. Rojo's obviously third choice now. He was happy being second choice at a big club like United. And he deserved to be second choice, to be fair, with his amazing performances anytime he played. But he's not going to be happy playing third fiddle. He's looking for a move away. Also, Smalling to Roma is the most likely. Rojo to Estudiantes is a possibility as well. And then Dalot, there's a couple of different clubs that are interested in him too. Some people are saying that Jones is likely to stay, but maybe Newcastle could come in for a cheeky little bit at the end of the window, but I doubt it. I thought Jones was fully injured anyway, so we'll see what goes on there. Nice one. Okay, the other news as well. This is from Duncan Castles, right, who came out yesterday or last night and said, in regards to Manchester United's offer for Alex Telles, it was 10 million euros, and Porto say they will not sell for 1 cent less than 20 million euros. So that's the discrepancy. We understand that United did make a second offer, though, but it seems like United's initial bid was 10 million euros. What an absolute low-ball bunch of melts we've got running this football club. Did they really think they'd get Alex Telles in quickly for 10 million euros? It just frustrates me so much. You see all the other football clubs in the league getting the players in, doing the business early on, not having any issues when it comes to dragging it out like this. Okay, sometimes it takes a while for other clubs to sign players, like Liverpool with Thiago, but that was only really because Thiago was using us as bloody leverage to try and get a better deal with the Scousers. You know what I mean? So it just frustrates me so much. When is this Alex Telles deal going to be announced? It should have been announced days ago, but we're just doing the classic thing of going back with our 18th bloody bid to try and shave a few pennies off the bloody deal. It's pathetic and pitiful and stressful and unnecessary. MUFC MB, Fabrizio Romano, via Fabrizio Romano. So we do understand that Real Madrid's Luka Jovic has been offered to other clubs other than Manchester United as well, with Roma being another one as a potential destination. So there is other clubs in for Luka Jovic. I want to talk about this Gary Neville tweet from earlier on as well, lads and lasses. By the way, there's over 350 of you legends tuning in. Thank you so much for joining me today. Get involved in this transfer show in the comments section, like Tala Mohammed. I am doing a watch-along later, mate, for the Brighton game, yes. All things going to plan, there will be a watch along on the channel, so come back and check it out tonight for the game. It will be starting about 7:30 for the Brighton game. But yeah, smash a thumbs up of the video if you haven't done so already, and get involved. But I want to read this comment out here from Gary Neville real quickly. He tweeted this morning at 8:03 p.m. I shared it. It was spot on. And what he had to say for himself is, it's appalling that in this transfer market, which is probably the easiest in Premier League history to get transfers done, that United haven't done more yet. They must get Ollie a centre-back, a left-back and a forward pre-deadline. The others are managing to get things over the line. Why not United? And he's spot on, isn't he, lads and lasses? There's no good excuse for it other than that we have a bunch of incompetent potatoes running our ship. That's the only reason we can't get these guys done and over the line. That's the only reason. We don't have the owners and we don't have the committed board to be prepared to get these deals in earlier. They're just fanning around until literally at the end of the window, unless it's a complete bargain like Donny van der Beek. They're fanning around right at the end of the window to try and shave off as many pennies as possible when they could have prepared Ollie a lot better and got these players in sooner. It's a joke. I totally agree with Gary Neville. There's no good excuse. He says it's appalling that in this market, which is probably one of the easiest to get players done, United haven't done more. Ollie needs a centre-back. Never mind these right wingers, never mind these other players, the left-back. He does need a centre-back. That's the glaring position that we need. Gary Neville was a great defender. He's not criticising Lindelof for fun. He's criticising Lindelof because he knows that Lindelof's not up to the bloody task of it. This guy used to play alongside Rio and Vidic, for Pete's sake. These guys are not even dead and they're turning in their graves, lads and lasses, at the thought of this shit back line. We need some players coming in and we need to get them now. And Ole Gunnar needs them and he's not getting them, man. So that's how everybody should feel about our shit board and shit owners. Colin Krieg, what's going on? He says, Neville needs the nuts to name the reason. What? What does that mean? Jim Joe Bobby says, so far, this is the Godfather 3 of transfer windows. Oh, dude, if only the last 2 windows were the Godfather Part 1 and the Godfather Part 2, though. Then we'd actually be all right in this window. But unfortunately, we don't have the Godfather 1 or Part 2, no. We've got Jeepers Creepers 3 last year. That's what we've bloody got. Jamie Jones, what's going on? Oh, dear. Manu Siddiqui comments, get Sancho and Tellez already. Addy Booth says, if you'd have shown any real desire at the start of the transfer window, you probably could have got Grealish. Thank you, Man United. Very true, we could have done. That's the thing. If you'd have got relegated, we probably would have got Grealish, but it's our board not being prepared to spend 60 or 70 million pounds on him. And to be fair, it's a lot of money for Grealish, but he's probably going to have another good season for you and progress into a really good player. And I'd have liked to have seen Jack Grealish around at the start of the window. So good point, mate. How do you feel about signing Ross Barkley out of the blue this morning, mate? That's how you do a bloody transfer. You know, okay, it's a loan, but that's how you announce a bloody transfer. You don't fanny around for months publicly, getting pulled apart and having all these negotiations public and being made to look like mugs. You just get the bloody deals done like Villa did today. So respect to Villa for getting that Barkley deal done just like that without any bastard knowing about it. But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, look, we should have done some business earlier on in the window and actually spent the money and had a bit of vision and had a bit of investment and a mind for investment, but we don't. Tonk Nash says we are so shit. Unfortunately, we're a great club, but we do have the shittest board and owners in bloody the Premier League. Billy Sheeran says this is the Ghostbusters remake of transfer windows. And luckily I haven't seen the Ghostbusters remake, my friend, but I heard it's pretty god-awful. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. It really is something like that, you know. Actually, this is the Goal 3 of transfer windows. That's what this is. Who remembers the Goal films with Santiago Munez, the Mexican lad who comes to England and plays for Newcastle United? And then in the second film, he goes and plays for Real Madrid. And look, the second film's not as good as the first film, but the second film's still pretty good. I enjoyed it. As a fun little family film to watch about football, I enjoyed Goal 2. The Dream Continues, or whatever the fuck it was called. And the first one's brilliant. I loved the first film. But the third film, I don't know if you've ever seen the third Goal film, but don't even give it the time of day. I couldn't even give it a 1 out of 10. It's like they've totally just derived from the story. They totally just deviated from the story and then made it about 2 English twats, that bother twat from Green Street, you know, that absolute chavvy meltbag who's a twat. And he basically plays the same bloody character he does in Green Street. And you're like, hang on, now England are at the World Cup and they're following England. What happened to this Santiago Munez guy that we know and love? You know what I mean? That is what Goal 3 the movie was, an absolute stinking turd. And that's what this bloody transfer window is. This transfer window is the Goal 3 of transfer windows. Yeah, absolutely shit. Tonk Nash says, what the F, there was a Goal 3. There was, mate, and it's awful. And it only has Santiago Munez in it for like a bit of the star. And he's got like some really crap haircut. And it's just like they've got him on set. And the budgets are awful. And the green screen usage is terrible. You know, like in the first film, they've actually got like, you know, they actually got like access to St. James's Park. He's actually on the pitch. They're actually recording certain scenes and stuff. Not in this one. Not in this one. It's like some 50s B movie with green screen gashness. It is awful. Don't watch it. If you enjoy the first 2 Goal films, do not watch Goal 3. Norfolk Pyro, how's it going? He says, what left back would you guys sign? It has to be Tellez at this stage. I mean, I don't see it being anybody else. There's some links to Tagliafico at Ajax. He's a great option as well, but Tellez's stats don't lie. He looks pretty damn awesome. We could definitely do with even half of those statistics. To be fair, he's not going to be taking penalties and free kicks as much, I don't think, at United, because we've got Bruno, but he seems like another great option to have out there on the pitch. AD Boo says, you've sold it, I'm going to go watch it. Well, that's the thing. If you want to watch a movie just to see how bad it is, I suggest that one. BG Krishnan says, Pig, are we going to sign anyone? Maybe a new gatekeeper at least. I don't know, mate. What do you mean a new gatekeeper? What do you mean by that? Griffo Chaz comments and says, honestly think we should have Flying Pig Films film watch along with a beer and popcorn would be perfect. You never know one day, Griffo. You never know one day. It might be a bit of a logistical nightmare. Chevalier Noir says, effing love these kind of passionate talks. Thank you very much, Chevalier Noir. Appreciate that one. Football with Brownie says, the best footy film has to be Escape to Victory. Christmas is never the same without it being on TV. Now you are talking. Now you're talking, mate. Now you're actually talking. That is one of the best football movies ever. If you've not seen that, you have to watch it. Michael Caine, Sylvester Stallone, Ozzy Ardiles, Bobby Moore. That's right. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, you're right about that one. You're right about that one, Football Brownie. That is one of the best football movies, definitely. There's only one Jimmy Grimble. That's a pretty good one, even though he's a bloody City fan. You know what I mean? There's only one Jimmy Grimble's actually pretty good. Right, anyway, we're off the topic. Let's get back onto the topic of United transfers. So then, let's just give you a little recap, actually, because I think we've covered all the main... Yeah, we've basically covered all the main stories here. So let's give you a little recap of what we talked about today. So, Fabrizio came out a little while ago and said Borussia Dortmund deny again any transfers reason related to Jadon Sancho's absence. So obviously he's out of favour at the moment. Well, not out of favour, but he's potentially maybe kicked up a fuss or has made it known or has had his head turned and he's just not 100% on the task at hand. So that's good. It looks like maybe we are nearing a move for Jadon Sancho and that he's maybe trying to force some sort of a move away. Possibly not. Maybe he's just genuinely got a little bit of a cough. They're saying he's got a respiratory issue, not COVID-19. That's why he didn't play against Bayern, and that's why he's not training. Sounds like they're just saving him, and and also he's maybe not happy, and they're looking at getting a move away. So it does look like that's a good indicator at this moment in time. The biggest issue is United agreeing the terms with Dortmund, which we still have not done. We understand we may go in for another bid, which we should do at some point, and try and get the agreement in place. But Dortmund don't have to sell. The biggest news as well that's all over the media right now is that Manchester United are in talks with Barcelona for Ousmane Dembele. Oh, crikey, that was a weird whistling noise. Ousmane Dembele, who's out of favour there. He's got injury issues, maybe on a loan move for Manchester United for the season. That's the other big news of the day. There's talks of that. I personally think it's just to get pressure on Dortmund for the Sancho move. But Ousmane Dembele, guys, what do you think about Ousmane? Smash a 1 in the live chat if you'd like to see Dembele at the club this season. Other news as well in regards to Manchester United is Luka Jovic was offered to Manchester United, and there's something to say that maybe he is favouring the move to United, but we also understand maybe Roma are favourites as well, so that doesn't really make sense. You can't have two favourites, but whatever. We'll see what happens there. I don't think that would be a panic buy. If you're just getting Luka Jovic on loan for a season and he's somebody who's going to take over from Igalo when he goes in Jan, then that makes perfect sense. So to me, we should try and get that deal done as well, and that's being reported that we are in talks with Luka Jovic. Also, what else was there? Just in regards to a few players out, Romero is understood to have made himself unavailable to be picked by Oli, and it's not injury related, so he's hankering for a move as well. Dallow's on his way out potentially. Smalling to Roma. These are basically the latest transfer news, and also Alex Telles, that deal's not really progressed anymore. They're still around about 6 million euros apart from what we understand. It's an absolute joke. We need to get some players in, and we're just literally going to wait until what seems like the end of the window now, just to save a little bit of cash. It's not going to be a lot of cash, it's going to be a little bit of cash. It's pathetic. Right then, I'm going to get into your comment section now, lads and lasses. Thank you so much to every one of you that's watched this video and getting in here today for the transfer show. Do us a massive favour if you haven't done so yet. Please do leave a thumbs up rating on the vid. Give it a cheeky little like if you haven't done so already. And also come back for the watch along later on tonight, around about 7:30. So a few hours time, we'll be watching and commentating on the Brighton game. So get involved, obviously, League Cup game. We beat them the other day. Just... in the Premier League, and now we've got to do the same in the League Cup 4th round if we are to progress to the quarter-final stage, I think it is. So, already getting to the latter stages of this tournament if we beat Brighton, and it's an opportunity for Solskjaer to get his hands on some silverware this season, so we should take it seriously. Be interesting to see what team he selects, if he makes wholesale changes like he did in the Luton game, or if it's going to be more of the first-team players going in there. I hope Donny starts tonight. I really hope Donny van der Beek starts. Mr. JG84, how you doing, man? He says, get rid of Lingard. Good shout, Mr. JG. Lingard's an absolute hanger-on. Alex Bob, he says, hey, Pig, can you give me a shout out? Shout out, Alex Bob. Thank you for stopping by and getting in here, Mr. Bob. Appreciate it, dude. Armeni Nathan Jr. comments, Man United should pay the money. 120 million, which Dortmund need every day. Man United keep rejecting it. They offer a Man United would pay. We need to stay focused to the other players like Telles, Luka Jovic, etc. Absolutely. If we were to just pay the money, we could have got the player at the start of the window. And then he would have bedded in and we'd have actually had him now playing in these games like he should have been. Like the other teams do, like Chelsea do. You know, it takes players a little bit of time to bed in as well. You can't just expect, I mean, I hope it happens, but if we do sign Sancho, you can't just expect him to slot in and be 100% Jadon Sancho banging in the goals and assists right away. He's got a new team to get to know. He's got a new system to get to know, new coaching staff, new surroundings, new house. He's got everything to get to know. So it's going to be a big period of change for him. It takes a little bit of time to adapt and adjust. That's why it's good to get your players in early. That's why Timo Werner maybe, you know, is that's the thing. You want Timo Werner in early at Chelsea to start the season and progress and learn and start banging in those goals. So that's the difference between Chelsea and United. They spent the money to prepare and we haven't. We've spent the money to save as much as possible. When we do spend, it's just to save. It'll be at the end of the window. Yo, what's going on? Jamie Coventry Forever says, Pig, do you think Jaffa cakes are a biscuit? No, they're absolutely not a biscuit. They don't qualify as a biscuit because you can't really dunk a Jaffa cake. If you dunk a Jaffa cake in a cup of tea, that's how I really justify a biscuit. It's crap. It's a sponge cake. That's actually what it is. It's a sponge cake. That's hence the name Jaffa cake. It's a sponge. It's sponge. It's a sponge cake with a bit of jam. Like what even is that? That marmalade? What the Jaffa stuff? What would you call that? I don't know. Gel? No, it's not gel, but that's splodge. And then it's covered in chocolate. That is a cake. That's a cake. Jelly. That's it. Jelly's the word. Griffo Chaz says, you say that, but if you look back at recent signings, they have all started hitting the ground running. Bruno, Donny, James, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yes, but if you look back at signings before that, Griffo, how many of them hit the ground running? How many of them? Did Lukaku? Did Pogba? Did Alexis Sanchez, you know? So I understand what you're saying. Some do, but all I'm saying is some don't. So that's what you've got to factor in there, you know. Some don't. It might actually help, though, that Jadon Sancho's actually maybe had a better pre-season than most of our bloody clubs have. You know what I mean? Thank you, Armedi Nathan Jr. Aaron Homehouse says, is Matt Rush here? I don't know. Is Matty the Rushmeister in the live chat still? Either way, shout out to Matty the Rushmeister. Ryak UK says, Pig, did you ever used to watch Dream Team, Harchester United on Sky One? Whoa. Yes, I did, mate. All the time back in the day, yeah. For the first few series anyway, with like Carl Fletcher and Scott Lucas and these guys in. Monday Bandele and all these guys. Yeah, definitely. But it got a bit shit, didn't it? Anyway... They could bring that back, actually. They could bring it. I don't even know if it's gone. I haven't watched it for years. Griffo Chaz says, yeah, but Ollie wasn't the manager then. Different era. Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference. A player can take time to adjust and adapt. Like, it's not just about the manager. You know, the manager's obviously going to try and utilise them and get them playing as soon as they come in if they're a big first-team signing. But it doesn't always go that way. You see it at a lot of clubs, you know, when players are signed and they come in and they just don't have the impact that you expect them to. Maybe later on it takes them a bit of time. Maybe later on they do live up to that. But that does happen a lot. I mean, get some examples in there, folks, of flops. I mean, look, Arsenal with Pepe, you know, you could argue he's going to be a very good player for them, but he definitely took a bit of time to adapt and settle, didn't he? And a whole bunch of other players too. Matt Rush comments and says there's 171 likes on the live stream. That's pretty awesome, guys. Smash that thumbs up button. Leave a thumbs up on it if you haven't. Marwan Fellaini, elbow it. Give it the old Zinedine Zidane treatment. Vinnie Jones, grab the ball, sack the like button or whatever, and get that like on it. Because, that's messed up, but because that would definitely help the stream out. Thank you very much for everybody who's done that. Really helps us out significantly. So do leave that thumbs up rating on the vid. You bloody legends. Okay, Jonathan Gallagher, thank you. G-Wolf, thank you. Who's my next football guest, says Jonathan Gallagher. I'm not 100% yet, mate. It's pretty difficult for me to get Manchester United ex-players on the show, it seems. There will be some coming, though. Don't you worry about that. We're going to get some stuff sorted out. Tizzy Red Devils, come and smash it. Thank you very much, Dizzy. DJ Sonic says, United waiting for new quarter kick in October to pay Dortmund 108 million. 2 seconds. Anyway, Welky Wang, what's going on? He says, thank you, Welky. Abdi Leebacks, what's going on? VK Dean, Ryan Berber, Amol Garg says Dembele is a prat. Bit harsh. I mean, he's a bit injury prone, but to say he's a prat is a bit harsh. Seaborn Gracias, he says, Pig, membership link, please. Seaborn Gracias, you're going to become a member, you bloody legend. Gracias, Seaborn. Thank you very much for that, dude. Let me put the membership link in there, because obviously only on Android, I think, or maybe PC, you can join by clicking the blue join link next to the subscribe button. But actually on here, on iPhone, you must be an iPhone user, I'm guessing, that you actually have to use a specific link, because Apple can't get their shit together, folks. Apple are a bunch of melts, it turns out. Seriously though, Apple have shit the bed since Steve Jobs passed away, unfortunately. I think they've had an absolute mare. Steve Jobs would have never put up with some of the shite that they've done over the last few years. Anyway, okay, let me just get this. Thank you very much to everybody who is a member, by the way. Get your favourite Bacon Brigade emojis in there. There we go. I've got it. Here we go. I'm sticking it in the live chat for you, Seaborn. Thank you very much. Anybody who wants to use it, there it is. There it is. Thank you. Okay then. So where were we? In the live chat for the Q&A. Get in there, lads and lasses. VK Dean says, no, Mr. Pig, Dembele is an actual prat. Turns up late to training all the time. Missed a match because he was up playing PlayStation late. His definition of a bad attitude. Have you never been a little bit tired for school one night when you've been up playing FIFA or whatnot, got a bit carried away? Nah, I agree. There's no excuses for that. If that's genuinely true, then that's pretty poor, isn't it? That's pretty poor if that's true. If he missed a match because he was up all night playing PlayStation, you'd take the piss. This guy's a professional footballer, man. Joshua Bullock says, just saw that Man City have signed another player. What does it take for us to get a signature? Dude, it takes a whole lot of stuff for us to get a signature, my man. Look at what Aston Villa did today, getting Ross Barkley on loan. I mean, we could have done worse than getting Ross Barkley on loan. Not saying we would have done, that's not realistic. But we could have done a lot worse. And Aston Villa, that's a great signing for Villa for the season, isn't it? Ross Barkley on loan, you have to say. Arnold Garg says he has a terrible attitude off the pitch. He wants to be a player who wants to play for the badge. Yeah, we do need a player that wants to play for the badge. I agree. Well, look, I don't know enough about his personality and stuff like that. Oh, Matthias Gracias. Is that Seaborn? I don't know, but Matthias Gracias, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Bacon Brigade, dude. You legend. Everybody, smash that Bacon Brigade emoji of your choice in there for Matthias Gracias, who has become a member of the channel. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate that. I'm guessing you are Seaborn Gracias and you just used a different account there. But gracias, senor. Gracias, amigo. Gracias, hombre. Gracias, Seaborn. DJ Sonic. I don't know. Manip Siddiqui says, Mr. P, I think we'll get Sancho on Monday. My gut tells me that we will get him. Okay, I hope so, mate. My gut doesn't tell me that. All my gut tells me right now is that I need to go for a number 2. That's all my gut tells me right now. It doesn't tell me anything about Sancho. It just tells me that I've had a bit of a dodgy bit of food last night. That's all it tells me. Thank you, Football with Brownie. Billy Sheeran getting your favourite emojis in there. Legends. Oscar, what's going on? Oscar Bartholomew. Tony Shields. Donny not happy. He wants a transfer. Actually, I did hear something from one of his agents or something yesterday. Not me personally, but I heard his agent had come out and said something along the lines of Donny's not happy with his current role at United at all. We don't know if that's true at this stage, but I did hear something similar with that. Broken US says, in class right now, but we got to stay up with the news. Nice one, Broken US. That is commitment, my friend. Just to give you an update, Dembele links with Man United. Sancho missing from training and not playing for Dortmund at the moment as well. Luka Jovic offered to United. We're having talks with them. And a few players of the Deadwood linked with going out. Those are basically the main stories, just to give you a quick 10-second summary. Asanactus is double-decker repeating itself again. If only it was a double-decker, mate. In my case, it was an octagonal decker. Is that octagonal decker. Or something like that, because I bloody had 8 of them. Or not really 8 of them, but I did eat a whole lot of food last night. Really bad amount of food. Like, terrible. I don't know why, I just was ravenous. I had the munchies like a mofo. Anyway, Yuima Nyanakundo comments, Mr. Breath. Why do you keep calling me Mr. Breath, by the way? That's not my name. Mr. Pig will do. Pig will do. But Mr. Breath, you keep calling me Mr. Breath, you Womana. What's that about? What's Mr. Breath? Are you saying I breathe too much? Are you saying that you can hear my wheezing? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't appreciate that too much. No, I'm joking. But why do you call me Mr. Breath? Anyway, he says, Mr. Breath, I don't think Dembele, even if he comes, I don't think he'll fit in Ollie's plan. I'm not bothered about him either. There's other players out there that are definitely better options. Colin Green says Roy Keane as defence coach. Roy Keane should just be brought in as like a motivationary speaker for Manchester United's halftime talks. He should just come in like Tony Robbins or something with that CD playing, you know, that really cheesy music or whatever. But instead of like giving you a motivational talk like Tony Robbins, he just beats the shit out of you. That would make more sense. I would like Roy Keane to have a motivational role at the team. That'd be good. Chevrolet Noir says, you've been eating those special cookies, pig. Wouldn't you like to know? But no, I haven't. Katie Meads, what's going on, Katie? Giving it the thumbs up. Thank you, Katie. Appreciate it. Nice one. Chevrolet Noir says, Keane equals scare tactician. Cress Welsing says, Mr. Breath, the new Avenger. Gabriel Lopez, what's going on? He says, LOL. Uemana Nurakundo. Hang on, I've got to get this name down. 2 secs. Uemana Nairarakundo. Yeah, that's it. Uemana Nairarakundo. What is that all about, Mr. Breath? That's Al Jory says Tellers news. I'd love to give you Tellers news. Unfortunately, the Tellers news is this. There's no change on the Tellers situation. United are still negotiating with Porto. We're understood to have tabled a second offer now. We know that our first offer was as low as 10 million euros or even 12 million euros. And we've tabled a new one, supposed to be around about 15 million euros, but we're still about 5 million apart. Porto's still holding out for 20 mil. The situation with Tellez is, we are going to get him, but we're just holding on to the end of the window to bend them over a little bit more for a couple more million down on the price, which will happen as well. Like, it actually will happen. We will actually get him for less, because they need to sell him. If they're not going to sell him now, they will lose out on him for nothing in the future. So if they want any cash for Tellez right now, then they need to do the business with us. There's some talks of maybe them being interested in Dallo as well permanently, but we don't know about the offer just yet on that one. We understand Milan are definitely interested in a loan move for Dallo as well. So in terms of Tellez, look, we'll give you the news as soon as it breaks if there is an agreement reached between the two football clubs. But right now, it's still in the negotiation phase. That's Al Jory says Jovic news. Did I not mention Jovic? Oh yeah, Jovic. So in regards to Jovic, he's just been offered to a bunch of different clubs, one of which is Manchester United for a season-long loan. That's what's been reported anyway. United are understood to have held talks, and United may be one of his favoured destinations. That's all we know at this stage. We'll bring you more on that one too. I personally would like to see Luka Jovic come. I think he'd be a good addition with Igalo going in January. DJ Sonic says, do you reckon it's a coincidence that Sancho misses a trip to Munich when United are approaching Dortmund? I personally don't know. I think that this whole news about him having some sort of a chest issue and also, being like very, unhappy at the moment. Some of this may be true, but I don't think the chest issue's true. I think that that's just to cover up the fact that he's had his head turned. Maybe he doesn't have his eyes 100% on the prize right now for Dortmund, so they don't want to play him. Illy United says, Tellez news with some poo-poo emojis. Stuart Keogh comments, Dembele would get injured during the medical. Yeah, he's enough of Gareth Bale there, isn't he? We don't really need him. He's a fifth option for me. I could think of four players that are realistic for United to get in right-wing position that I would much prefer over Dembele this season. One of them would be Ismail Assar, to be honest with you, just because that would be permanent and it wouldn't be a loan and it wouldn't be an injury-prone loan. Probably another one would be David Neres at Ajax. Definitely rate him. I think he would be attainable. What a great right-winger, 23 years of age. Don't know why we're not looking at him. Also, Adama Traore at Wolves. You might be able to sign him. It's possible. He would be a good option. There's a good few players ahead of him. Vatsal Jory says, Cavani news, ? Not really. I mean, it was reported yesterday that United had held talks with Cavani, but I don't see that one as being realistic myself. I just don't want to see him come to the football club anyway, but if we did sign him, fair enough, but it's kind of a Woodward signing, it is. It's a big name, will generate a lot of interest, it will paper over the cracks, a la a Falcao. It smacks just like the Falcao signing. It really is a similar sort of signing, and that didn't work out for us. Last thing we need is another overpaid prima donna who doesn't truly want to be here. Colin Grigg says Tellez will sign. I think so as well, Colin. Uemana, he says, we don't need another Twantibi. Do we, Mr. Breath? What? What's this Mr. Breath business all about? Anyway, no, we don't need another Twantibi. We've already got Twantibi. I mean, that's the thing. I know, we don't need a centre-back. We've got Twantibi. Is that what you're saying? Well, yeah, I mean, I'd rather see Twantibi put in there over Lindelof, but still, he's never really done that much up to this point, Twantibi, but when he has been selected, he's looked good. It's not his fault, I guess, that he's never played that much. He's just been held out by overpaid, overrated players at the centre-back position. We paid 29 million for Victor Lindelof, I think, and he's never really lived up to it at all. Thank you, Matt Rush. He says, smash a like for the pig. If you're just getting in here and you haven't hit the like button yet, please do leave the like rating on the video. Let's see if we can twat 200 likes on the video by the end of this video. That'd be absolutely awesome. Appreciate a lot of you for joining and watching this stream also. Gary Finnegan says Cavani is 33 years old. Why would you sign someone that will only give you a few years at the top? Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, if we were going to sign him on a one-season deal, which isn't going to happen, then yeah, but anything longer than that, it doesn't really make sense. What would he demand in terms of wages as well? He would command like at least 250k or 200 grand at 33, maybe even more, just because he's a big name and he's on big money now, or he was on big money. I don't know. I mean, look, it's a bit of a gamble, that one. To be fair, if you are prepared to spend the money, it's a good gamble because he is a top player, but then it's not that good of a gamble because all he does at 33 is hold back players like Mason and hold back even players like Martial from getting all the required game time and development time that they need. So I'm with you on that one, Gary. I don't think he offers us that much at 33. Yeah, 5 years ago it'd have been a great sign and he really would have done, but not now. Not now. It's a little bit too much gone and happened since then. Plus, we don't need another overpaid player who's not hungry. And okay, Cavani might still want to play football at top level and score goals like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Look at Zlatan. That was a great signing. And you could argue this would be a similar sort of signing. You could actually argue that. But it doesn't help us out for the future. It's just a short-minded deal. Matty Rushmeister with a super sticker with the flying bird or whatever that is. That's probably the homing pigeon that's on his 15th flight to Porto right now to try and get the deal bloody done for Tellez. That's probably the homing pigeon. That's how Ed Woodward does his deals. Uses carrier pigeons. That's why it takes so bloody long. Anyway, thank you so much, Matt Rush, for the £10 super sticker there, you bloody legend. What can I say, Matt Rush? You're an absolute hero. Thank you very much. Everybody stick the love heart emoji in the live chat for Matty the Rushmeister, because he is something else when it comes to supporting the show, and also just being a legend guru of transfers. He gives me a lot of this great information. Seaborn Gracias, he says, we need to get a centre-back this window. Absolutely. Has your name changed now? That was weird. But either way, thank you, Seaborn Gracias, for getting in here, dude. You legend, newest member of the channel. Thank you so much. Stuart Keogh says, hey, Flying Pig, enjoying your show as always. What's your score prediction for us tonight? I'm going for the same result as last time, actually. You can call me crazy. But I'm going for that. I think it's going to be a similar affair. Hopefully not. What was that? 3-2, wasn't it? Yeah. Alex is in the gaff. What's going on, the Rinconator? He comments, I actually think us haggling over Alex Tellez. Hold on a sec, let me go back up. I actually think us haggling over Alex Tellez is a good thing. Paying 18 million for him is too much when we could get him on a free in January and sign a pre-contract. United can't set a precedent like that. Yeah, look, I've said similar things actually, Alex. I kind of agree. On that one, he's definitely come in and all this is just to squeeze down the deal, which they will do. They have Porto in a very strong position right now, or United are in a very strong position because we're the only club that's realistically chatting to Alex Tellez and is actually talking to Porto at this moment. So it's not like we've got competition from anyone else. If Porto want money now, they have to sell in this window. Otherwise, like you say, he can sign pre-contract terms in January and be off at the end of next season. They would get a full year out of him, though, which, may be worth 10 million euros to them. I doubt it would be because they could just use that money and go and sign somebody else. And it's not like, it's not the massivest position to lose our player on. His stats and assists, though, would suggest otherwise. His stats and assists would suggest that they would lose out on a massive player for them. Also, if the player's not comfortable and wants to leave and wants to get more money and wants to go and play for United, he's not going to be in the right frame of mind to play for Porto this season. So there's another reason why it plays into United's hands. So yeah, I agree. Look, I'm not that bothered about it now. It's just that we should have done this months ago. Like, if we were going to do it and get these players in to prepare for the season, it's worth paying that extra premium to get them in then early to prepare properly. But it is not worth doing now to pay a few minutes extra when you can just wait to the end of the window and pay a lot less later on. And bless you. Mrs. P is in bed, by the way. She's not feeling very well today. Say hi, Mrs. P, if you want.
Hey, everyone.
Mrs. P's melting all over the gaff. It's probably giving me bloody COVID, and she's turned up at my house, and I told her not to, and now I'm probably going to get bloody COVID too. And I'm pissed off about it, but what can you do? Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Right, okay, I'm pretty much gonna wrap this video up now, folks, because we're getting pretty close to 90 minutes, and but thank you so much to every single one of you that's tuning in and getting involved. Really appreciate every single one of you for stopping by today and having your say in the live chat. Snap Film Walk, Billy Sheeran, Jonathan Gallagher, Ryan Burbisman 9, Illy United, DJ Sonic, Dean Flynn. He says, hi Pigs, what's the update on Sancho? It's nothing really. It's just that he's not playing for he's not training at the moment, and he didn't play for against Bayern the other night, and he has got a chest issue. He's got a respiratory issue. Yeah, that's right. Not COVID, though. Definitely not COVID, something else. He's being saved, isn't he? He's being saved. There's some talks to say that he's thrown his toys out the pram as well. I'm not so sure about that one. DJ Sonic says, feel better soon, Mrs. P.
Thank you, lovely.
G-Wall says, hiya, Mrs. P. Hope you get well soon, sweet.
Thanks, G-Wall.
Mr. Darkside says, see you on the watch along. Thank you, Mr. Darkside. Yeah, if you're around later for the game, 7:30 tonight, we'll be getting underway for the League Cup 4th round game between Brighton and Man United. Come back then, tune in for it. We'll be doing the live commentary and match reaction for it. If only that were true, Jamie Jones. Alan T, cheers Pigmate, cheers Alan T. Griffo Chaz, what's going on, Griffo? He says, rest easy, Nicola, you should feel better soon. Doesn't help, you got a melt with hay fever in the same house.
Thanks, Griffo.
Her daughter's not in the house at the moment, mate.
Oh! That's horrible.
Well, I don't have bloody hay fever. Okay, she does, I don't.
Little Miss isn't a melt.
No, but she, no, I'm not calling her melt. I just said she's got melt fever.
You're in my bad books now.
Good. I like to be in your bad books. Good. I'm glad I'm in your bad books. Keyroll 5695 says Marcus Alonso is available. Please buy him. No, thank you. No, thank you. We don't want him. Gungshi, how's it going? He's just getting in here at the end. He says, just got back home. Gungshi, I hope your day was okay, mate. I hope it all went well. How was it? Thank you for getting in here, dude. I'm pretty much going, though, Gungshi, so if you want to watch the show, you have to restart it. I will be doing a watch-along later, though, for the Brighton game, so if you're around, get involved. Burnow Dean getting in here as well. He says, big up, Pig, good work. Get well soon. Thank you so much, Burnow. Asan Akhtar says, great show, Pigstar. Thank you so much, Asan Akhtar, you bloody legend. Appreciate it, Asan. Tonk Nash, super chats, much love to you and Mrs. P and Mr. Pig. Thank you so much, Tonk Nash, you legend. Appreciate it. Any United says, see you, Pig Yol. Oh, Gungshi says, PayPal, Pig. Are you serious? You've only just got in here, Gungshi. Gungshi, thank you so much. Let me just check that, dude. You're too kind, Gungshi, honestly. Let me just refresh my email. Oh, Gungshi, thank you so much, dude. What a top lad. He's sent a PayPal over. So kind of you, Gungshi. Have a great day. I hope you're, everything's going okay with you, bud. And he said, get well soon, Mrs. P. Your turn to make the tea, Pig.
Oh, thanks,
She doesn't like tea. Who doesn't like tea? But she actually doesn't like tea. She doesn't drink anything hot. What's that all about?
No, I don't like hot drinks, hot chocolate, nothing. I love chocolate, but I don't like any hot drinks.
Don't like anything hot. I guess she's melty enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like how some people are sweet enough and don't take sugar. She's melty enough, so she doesn't want anything hot.
Thanks, Gungshi. That's so sweet of you. So many legends.
Thank you, Gungshi. Ahmad Nathan Jr. Thank you, Vincent Bullock. It's in Vincent Bullock. It's in the description, I think, the PayPal donation link. No, but people, if you do that, thank you very much. But obviously, this is all free. You don't have to do that. But anybody who does want to support this channel and this show, you can do that if you want, like Gungshi. Thank you very much, guys. Football with Brownie. Have a great day. That's it. We'll get the stethoscope out. It's time for a bit of doctors and nurses, is it? Ryan Berber, Palmerius, have a great day. Stuart Keogh, Gungshi, Matt Rouse, Griffin Jazz, Kurt Cunning, Jonathan Gallagher. Thank you, guys. Smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you've never been on this show before, hit the subscribe. Smash the bell icon as well to be notified when we post live. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com, as well for updates on United's transfer window and latest goings on around the club. And also check out the social media accounts. All the links are in the description. Flying Pig United on Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter is at Mr. Flying Pig HD and Flying Pig United also. Okay then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. This is The Pig. I'll see you tonight for the watch-along in a few hours' time. Get some good scran down here, as the Scousers would say. But we don't like to quote Scousers.
Thank you so much for the lovely comments, everyone. I'm not on my phone today or in the live chat, but thank you, and thank you very much, Gungshi, for sending that over, you sweetie. I hope you're okay.
Thank you, Ramas Fleming, Dean Flynn, everyone, Jonathan Briffer, Primot, you legend, Samuel Arhin, Gungshi, have a great one, Gabriel Lopez, G-Wolf. See you later on. This is The Pig. I'll see you tonight for the watch-along. Take it easy. And here are the Patreon credits. Simon Bennett, what's going on? It's Ryan Giggsy, Simon Bennett. Thank you, Mr. JG84, Oscar Bartholomew, Abby Dixon. Are you guys just getting in, or have you been lurking in the whole time and you're just saying hello now? Kurt Koenig too, Jamie Jones. Everyone, if you've just getting in, please smash the like before you go and watch the video back from the start. But if you have been lurking, then thank you for coming and saying hello. Don Piglioni says, hope you feel better soon, Mrs. P.
Thanks, Don Big.
These are just the post-Patreon credits to say thank you to all the legends that support this show. I've got people to add to this list still. I'm sorry. Kelly Clough, Johnny Malks, Michael Fletcher, who else is off the top of my head? Mr. YOLO Man, Ollie In, shite. There's a bunch. I'm sorry. I will add you all very, very soon. I promise you. Love you lots. You're a bunch of legends. Appreciate all the support from the Bacon Brigade. I'll get this sorted out soon. I need to get a better way of doing it. The reason I don't do this is because it takes me about bloody half an hour, because I've got to record my phone screen using an app and then upload it to my Google Drive and then download it. It's a freaking calamity. I need to just get better software to make these post-match credits. Anyway, guys, thank you, guys. Have a great day. See you soon. Have a great day. This is The Pig. See you later, and come on, United.